Hey guys, and how's it going? Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've had a video on this one. We were in mid-process of working on it. I think there's one or two videos. I want to say two. One was the first one of me getting it. It did not run for a long period of time. Got the original engine to run and we buzzed it around. And then after that, figured that that engine was too small for an insane adult to have as a toy. And we changed it over to a Briggs 16 horse from a belt drive to, you can't see, there's a clutch in there with a chain drive. The original engine was a 5 horse or 5.5 horse Honda that was on there. So that's kind of where we left off. There was more work done. I did not film it. Did a couple of things. I relocated the oil dipstick and fill so that we could have access to it. There's actually a hole up through here. I don't want to try to cut any extra holes that are in the body. Hooked up a throttle linkage setup. Something else was done to it. I don't remember off the top of my head. Anyhow, so we need a gas tank. We need an ignition kill and need room for the air cleaner. That's the other thing, is that there's a gap in that darkness right in there. If this cover is sitting all the way down, which is about that much further, there was no room for an air cleaner. And again, I didn't want to have to go punch another hole in the top of the body if I don't need to. So probably going to do a body lift. We'll work with some wood, and if we can kick it up to about right where it is, right there, that should be fine. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. At some point I want to put larger tires on the back anyway, something along those lines, and lifting the body will help that situation. Let me get that body lifted up out of the way. We'll start working on the kill switch, some other things, and then finish up with the mounting of the body and possibly a ride. And the body just lifts right off. And here we are with the naked underpinnings. So the throttle used to have a metal rod coming from the gas pedal, ran all the way to the back, up through here, ran through a linkage, and worked a paddle that was on the throttle, and then the engine had a governor built into it also. Got rid of all that and pretty much just welded a bolt on it with an adjustable link for a cable. That cable goes up, around, welded another little tab on the engine, and we're just pulling directly on the throttle. Got rid of the governor. The governor setup is not in play anymore, so that we can take it to its limits and hopefully keep the little shiny oily bits inside not evenly dispersed on the ground. It's just a one-wheel peel right now. It's got dual inboard clutches. Clutches, brakes, one there and one there. Like I said, they float. At some point we could probably tie that axle together, but we're going to leave it a one-wheel peel for now. Alright, kill wire. We should have a wire hanging out of the back here somewhere by the coil. Is this the one or is this the one? One of these is the kill. I want to say it's probably this one. And we'll run a kill switch up around. Maybe we'll we'll drill a hole right about here. Be able to flip it on and off for a run. This actually has a capacity for electric start too. And I have a starter, I think, I don't know if I want to get into all that right now. Maybe we'll do that at a later date. We could pull start it, but it'd be nice if we could just have a regular key that we fire it up from. I think the chances are that one of these will work. Maybe we bench test one of those. Where's the original one? I think the original one, that terminal was burned off of it. Is it this one? Considering I don't see a terminal. Yeah, there it is. So we need one that looks to mount like that. Is that the same thing? Doesn't have the drive. The drive is missing a spring or something. That one looks a little too tiny. I may not have enough. Spin it. Let's go hook this one on the bench, see if it cranks over. Well, that's no good. Does need to be able to drive that gear. That's not happening. It's missing whatever pushes down on that. Yeah, it's missing this whole aluminum piece right here. The pin goes through in the spring-loaded cage. We gotta get this off, knock that pin out. We'll might as well swap the gear over too. That gear looks like it's gotten pretty hammered. I think 1 out of the 2. Yeah, nothing wrong with that one, huh? Have it on bolt and motor. You want to get the starter in there, but this one right here in particular is a jewel to get in, as you can imagine. Once it's all the way in its hole in there, she's a tad tight to get started. So we're gonna get that worked in there, and we'll give it a shot of juice and see if we can spin that motor over. Yeah, definitely a set of Allens would have made life a lot easier. Let's go give her a little power. See if we'll spin this thing over. Might start it. I don't know what's got in it for gas. Let's go hold the kill wire just in case. That should be fine. Excellent. We got electric start. Fancy. Well, I might make sure it still runs, huh? Give her a little and hold down the intake. See how she does. Good ground. Ground's gonna fire as soon as I touch it. Choke. Uh-oh. Lots ago. I need to bottle. Hey. Go give her enough to, I want to rev it up. Probably give it a little bit of choke until it warms up. So you should go now. And up in our junk pile upstairs, we have ignition switch. It ran a old snapper that was electric start. I don't know if the wires are going to be heavy enough to run power to the start, because you're running all the power to the starter. Might be okay. Let's go gut this stuff, bring it down with us, see if that'll work. So this is where the battery can connect to those two terminals, and this is hooked up and the charging system's hooked up. We should be able to. Good. Just need to kill wire yet, but that part's set up. Might try tucking the battery in the back here somewhere. I'm undecided. We'll grab a battery and see what we can find for a spot. Well guys, I should take a second to apologize because I just started wrenching away and I forgot I was making a video. So I guess I'll get you caught up to speed. What's going on? We have switches, power, battery box. Charging system is plugged back into it too, so once you fire it up, it rejuvenates its battery. Gas tank. And made up a bracket there. Bracket coming off of there. Fuel line, fuel filter. Don't know if the pump works or not yet. I think that's where we are. Fuel shut off. And all fits into the cover pretty good. I have a battery issue. The battery issue is it's thought to known to be good, but nothing. She's done. So note to self next time, make sure the battery's good before you finalize the corners of where it's going to fit. So I got to try to find something else. That's what's the buzzing in the background. There's another battery on a charger. We'll see if that one recuperates enough. If not, I'm going to get like a 12-volt motorcycle battery. I'm just shove it in there. I was just trying to use something that I had, you know. No, spending 50 bucks, but oh well. All right, it is 11 o'clock and I'm hungry, so I'm going home to go eat. And I'll meet you guys back here in the morning, and we'll regroup, keep going. All right, so it's the next day. I had a battery on a charger, battery number 2. Let's see if this one will work for us before I go and I steal one out of a motorcycle. This is out of one of those, both these batteries are actually like a kid's ride-on Jeep. Here we go. I go idle and slow. Good. Shut that down. I'm gonna pollute the air. Good. I'm gonna go mount that battery up, make a box for it, and that'll be our backup. When we say we give that one more shot. I think some of these have a relay built into them. Good. I like it when stuff is free. So let's look at the air cleaner. I grabbed the stock setup. I was wondering if we can get that to sit back on there. It looks like it went something like that. Then the filter, and then a cap that went on it. I don't know how high that's going to stack where it's going to cause a problem for the air cleaner. Can we recess that down? I don't know if we can knock this down a little bit just to have it kind of come up inside the, maybe not. But before we get into that, because it requires putting the body back on, get an idea what's going on, why don't we screw around with the fact that it's just way too quiet. We should have a muffler on it. So let's get the old muffler off and see if we can make some better brum brum noises. That ought to just buzz right off of there. Snap. see what it sounds like with no muffler. Better. Throttle. Need a little bit of choke. That's more like it. I like it better with no muffler. I think we need something that's just more of a tailpipe. It's in here, it just doesn't know it yet. Speak if you see something. Square's not going to work too good for us. Let's go. What's that, a beetle? Pea shooter? It was $2. That might be able to do us anything else. There's something, just want a curve on it. Go, just steal that elbow if we need. Let's go see how this does. This might work for us right here. So I got the fan on behind you. It's hot. Over 90 in here. Not bad. I'd like to be able to kick it. Maybe about that much. I wonder if maybe we'll heat and bend on that one. Do that. Do that. Fortunately, we kind of need the body on there too. That's not too bad right there, huh? Don't like that. Which way? Got done welding that up. It's a show. Let's go fire it up, see how she sounds. works for me. I think I'm just going to shove the stock air cleaner on it for now, and then we'll see about tucking the body in and around everything. Well, that was a slight miscalculation. That may be a little tight to get the dipstick out of there. And that. So that's the original height of the body, and we need to come up about 2 inches. I think before we put that body on there, maybe we'll put gas in the tank and see if it'll prime, see if that fuel pump works. We draw fuel through that filter before we put the body on, so we don't have to take it back off and screw with that. Hopefully we can maybe just work with it. You know, again, once you get the body on, we'll just work with it and shim it and adjust it one last final time, and then we can launch it. Guess we don't need to commit that much, do we? I'm pouring out the bottom. I already see it at the fuel filter. Priming itself up to gravity level, so it should come right across. And that's what it just did. But will it draw itself all the way up and stay running? Well, that's what we're gonna go find out. Gas is on. What do we need? Power. I turn the choke off. There we go. It is not sucking fuel up. You know it couldn't be that easy, right? Alright, we gotta go look into that fuel pump. Sometimes if you get the pump wet from the backside, there's a joke. Huh? We'll backfeed a little bit of fuel in it. This is out to the carburetor. I got nothing. So let's go try. There's like a little, just 2 check valves in there, 2 little gates. Let's just try giving that a crank, see if it'll go. Yeah, I turned spark off, so it won't start, I'll just crank. There we go, good. Sometimes you just gotta wet its whistle. Let's leave that off for a sec. Let it fill up the bowl, see if it'll go. Alright. Spark's back on. Check it again. Actually, to be honest, I really don't know what the condition of that carburetor is in. I don't think we ever took the top off, did we? Yeah, we're not getting fuel again. All right, so I'm gonna screw around with that a little bit. Try maybe that one or 2 more times. If not, we'll take that pump apart. I'll turn that idle up a little. Try like that so it warms up. Going down so low, the decompression valve is kicking in. I can actually hear it clacking. You gotta go up a little with the RPMs. I like to get it idle as low as I can, but smooth. Alright, so we're going to go put the turtle shell back on. And where it looks like it's mounted, it just has two rubber snubbers in the front. It kind of, like the fiberglass overlays a bunch of pieces. You can see where it's been chattering, you know, for the last 10,000 miles. It's got two straps that something like a Jeep hood would have. Latches on and grabs the nose of the body and pulls it down. And then in the back, it just has a couple of rubber snubbers that had two bolts on it. And then one last one up top to support the rear of it. So I think maybe we'll unbolt this. We'll shim it up maybe with a 2x4 or something. Get this one to come just a little higher than the air cleaner. That way we know we're touching that instead. Maybe these, actually we could probably just do that, maybe. So I'm gonna go get the cover, throw it on there, and actually we'll make that first. Looks pretty good. This is where we need to make a shim under the seat. It looks like I probably should, what I'll do is I'll just measure this section out and I'll see what I can come up with. But the problem is we got to go and taper it, so that might be the little tricky part. It's probably like spray foam or something. Almost at it. Prepare to qualify. Holy shit. Oh, she's squirrely. It absolutely screws. For a heavy slug, I thought it was going to be a dog. No, it screws. Fuel pump's still acting up though. Started starving for fuel, that's why it died. So I am trying to, without pulling the cover, do some tricks. I'm going to pressurize the gas tank, see if I can push fuel up through it, and possibly put a fuel line on it, maybe just let it run, let it cycle through again. There's like little valves that are in there that flap back and forth, and they stick, especially with the modern gas, what it does to it when they set. Yeah, I tried shooting air through it and a couple of different things, and nothing was working. Which one fits better? So let's open her up, see what we have for an issue. I don't think I have another one laying around. We could probably find a pulse pump on something else, maybe. Won't be the same style. But I think I have a Kohler with one on it. What they do is they get a pulse from the crankcase, the valve cover, and it moves the diaphragm on the inside. This is the pulse. It's fuel out, fuel in. All right. Let's see what we got. There's the two diaphragms. And if we can get this. So what happens is the pulse comes in here and pushes this diaphragm up and down and just allows the fuel to go through. And we cannot damage that. Can we split it lower? Let's go see what the other half looks like. See how the other half lives. Possibly we can clean it from this side. And if they don't shut completely, that one looks punky. And I think that one's shot right there. I'm going to do my best to rinse them. I'm going to blow them out, rinse them. Even if they get just a little bit of crap, like that one doesn't look like it's sitting right, does it? There it goes. Now it's sitting flat. I'm going to go rinse them best I can. I really like to get this off of here to get in there, but if we damage that, that's it. Game over. I don't have parts for it. Some tempting fate. We're in. I'm gonna leave anywhere there's gasket. We're just gonna let the gasket stay right where it is and not screw with any of that. And I'm gonna go and clean these surfaces. Sometimes you could take them right out. Pop the centers out of them. I don't know if that's gonna be a bright idea for us or not. All right. Well, I'm gonna go rinse on those. See if we put it back together. Looks like that one diaphragm was sitting. It had like a cleft lip, you know. I put it back together. You're gonna go watch right there for me. Let me know if anything comes out. You're gonna lose the light. All right. There we go. Stuck. Yeah. That's a bad sign, or a good sign. Look, carb adjust. Two stage running. Well, done idle worth a damn. Got some dirt in the carburetor. We gotta pull that apart and clean it one more time. But it goes like hell. I mean, it literally, you boot it and it just leaves burnout marks for all the way out the garage. So I think it's gonna wrap it up for this one at this point, guys. Should have more to come on this, but for right now, I'm gonna go call it quits. Probably a fairly long video as it is. But thanks for hanging out with me and having a little bit of fun. And I say I probably got up to about 40. And it gets there very quickly. Surprised for how heavy it is. This thing weighs, it's gotta weigh 400 or 500 pounds. It's just all steel. All right, guys, till the next one. Thanks for hanging. See you soon. Bye.